Hello and welcome back to your August of 2025 real estate update for Chino, Chino Hills, and San Bernardino County. Hi, I am your host Thomas Ryan with Thomas Ryan Real Estate. I am a Southern California real estate agent based in Chino, California with a reach and pulse on all 5 Southern California counties. Today we have an insightful and maybe even a shocking video for you based upon the previous month's market activities. In these monthly market updates, we will bring you information, statistics, as well as my personal perspective about what's going on in the market with the ultimate goal of keeping you well informed about our local real estate market. And of course, as always, we will hear from Loan Officer Benny Rabishin. He will bring to us information about what's going on with mortgage rates today and what we can expect from them in the near future. Before we go any further, please do us a favor and hit that like button down below and consider subscribing to the Thomas Ryan Real Estate YouTube channel or following me on Instagram at Thomas Ryan Real Estate. We'd appreciate that so much. And should you have any additional questions about the real estate market in general, your specific property, or maybe you have aspirations of buying or selling a home, always feel free to give me a call or send me a text message. I can be reached at 909-334-2049 or find me on all the social media sites. You can DM me there. Just search Thomas Ryan Real Estate. All right, without further ado, let's get into the update. School is back in full swing and we're looking ahead to fall. But before you have your first pumpkin spice latte, let's take a look back and see how the summer housing market wrapped up. First, taking a look at the active listings for the month of August for Chino, Chino Hills, and San Bernardino County. In San Bernardino County, the active listings dropped by over 400 homes from the previous month, totaling 7,089 for the month of August. In Chino, active listings rose by just 2 homes to 226. And in Chino Hills, the number of available homes for sale stayed the exact same at 125 homes. Overall, in the previous month, the housing inventory tightened in our region with noticeable drops at the county level. However, local markets in Chino and Chino Hills are holding steady, with Chino only showing a slight, very modest uptick and Chino Hills remaining exactly the same. This suggests that while buyers in the county as a whole were faced with fewer options, in Chino and Chino Hills, the inventory levels remain steady but limited. Next up, let's take a look at the number of closed sales in Chino, Chino Hills, and San Bernardino County for the month of August 2025. In San Bernardino County, following suit with a decrease in available homes, the closed sales dropped by about 100 homes to 1,521. Chino also saw a decrease from 62 homes closed in July to 56 in August, while Chino Hills was the only sector that saw an increase, although it was quite modest, from 47 homes to 49 homes sold. The overall market has been seeing a slowdown in buyer activity, and this is reflected by perceived high interest rates and seasonal cooling. San Bernardino County and Chino both experienced fewer closings, while Chino Hills bucked the trend with a slight uptick. This suggests that the demand in Chino Hills remains steady despite the broader slowdown. With inventory plateauing in August and closed sales remaining relatively stable, let's take a look at the median days on market for the month of August. Remember, these are the number of days that a home remains active on the market before accepting an offer and going into escrow. San Bernardino County's median days on market increased month over month by 4 days up to 30 days total. Chino also increased by 6 days, reaching and surpassing the 30-day mark with 31 days on market, and even Chino Hills had a significant increase, up 11 days to 25 days on market. It's clear homes are taking longer to sell across the board, both at the county level and our local city levels. We are seeing increases in the median days on market. Chino now averages just over 1 month on the market. And while Chino Hills is a little bit faster, it saw the largest uptick in median days on market month over month. This signals that while demand is still present, buyers are taking more time, and the market pace is a bit slower than what it was in previous summer months. With these median days on market increases, another metric that we like to take a look at is the months of supply. This indicates to us what the health and direction is of the market. Let's take a look at the month's supply for August 2025. Overall, month over month, we did not see any significant changes. San Bernardino County expectedly saw a decrease from 5.3 to 5.1 months supply. Chino increased by 0.1 from July up to 4.1 months, and Chino Hills saw no change at all, sitting at 2.8 months supply. The month's supply metric shows us that we have a market that is stable with only slight shifts. With inventory plateauing and homes taking longer to sell, the data suggests the market is balancing, however, still leaning towards a seller's market, especially in Chino Hills, where the inventory remains tight. Okay, all of the data up until this point has not been super favorable towards sellers, but I promise we're about to take a turn with the median price per square foot. Let's take a look. Yep, that's right. We actually saw month over month increases in price per square foot values in Chino and Chino Hills, while San Bernardino County saw a slight decrease. San Bernardino County was at $330 per square foot. Chino increased to $412 per square foot, and Chino Hills is up to $541 per square foot. Despite slower sales activities and longer market times, home values are remaining strong and even rising locally in Chino and Chino Hills. This indicates continued buyer demand and resilience in these markets, especially compared to the broader county. For sellers, these price per square foot trends offer encouraging signs that equity growth remains intact even in a cooling market. Real quick, I wanted to show you this graph to just highlight where we are in the housing market. It shows the percentage that sellers received from their original list price. Over the past 5 years, sellers have consistently been getting strong results, and August was no different. In fact, all sectors came in within 3% of the original list price. So while you may hear stories about sellers making big price cuts or steep discounts, the local data shows a much steadier market than the headlines suggest. And now on to the stat that is most easy to understand and frankly the one you most care about. Let's take a look at the median sale price for August 2025. San Bernardino County increased from $530,000 in July to $540,000 in August. Chino also increased from $700,000 to $730,000. However, while Chino Hills has been the more consistent and hotter market, their median sales price actually dropped month over month from just over $1 million in July to $967,000 in August. San Bernardino County and the city of Chino both experienced healthy price growth in the month of August, signaling continued buyer demand and resilience. Chino Hills, while typically the stronger and more competitive market, experienced a slight dip in median prices. But this is not likely due to a dip in values overall, rather a different mix in the homes that were actually sold in the month of August, meaning that more lower priced homes sold in the month of August, and likely the higher valued properties are taking a little bit longer to sell. This suggests that the Chino Hills market remains solid, but the sales activity skewed more towards the affordable segment. And now on to the question that so many people are wondering about and maybe even sitting on the sidelines waiting for, and that is what's going on with mortgage rates. And to answer that question, as I mentioned, we have loan officer Benny Rabishin to give us some insight about what's going on there. Take it away, Benny.
Hey, Thomas. Well, listen, I couldn't wait to do this month's update because I have some really exciting news that we've been waiting for a long time. And that is that we're continuing to see mortgage rates come down. So listen to this. Earlier this year, we were hovering for a 30-year fixed mortgage in the low sevens. Today, we're at about 6.5%. It's an over 0.5% drop in interest rate. Now, in such a short period of time, that's a little bit abnormal. However, very beneficial for any buyer in this market. But here's something very interesting. So as we see these rates come down, one would expect that a lot of these buyers that have been on the fence are now going to get back into the market. And I don't know if it's the time of year. I don't know if there's still hesitancy. I don't know if buyers want rates to continue to drop further. But what I'm seeing is a massive opportunity. So we have really two components of that. One is we've seen interest rates come down over 0.5%. Now, depending on the price point that you're looking at, that could equate to hundreds of dollars a month. We have that plus. Now, the other added bonus to that is we're still seeing the negotiation power that we've had for buyers, again, that I've talked about in previous months. For example, there are negotiation tactics that we're doing where you can make an offer on a home at whatever price you feel comfortable doing, but we're also having the seller incentivize you as a buyer, and sellers are very motivated to do that as we've seen inventory pick up a little. For example, sometimes we can get the seller to cover all of your closing costs. Imagine buying a home and not having to pay $8, $9, $10, $11,000 in closing costs. Another feature to that is instead of covering closing costs, we're having the seller give us money and we're using that to get our buyers into lower interest rates. With some of these programs, it's equating to interest rates in the 4s and the 5s. So while a lot of these buyers are still sleeping a little bit, there's massive opportunity right now, and not just the rate drop, but in negotiation power. Now, I don't know how long this will last. As buyers get attracted to these rates coming down and more people coming into the market, I do believe we see a more competitive nature where a lot of this negotiation strategy I'm talking about might be a little bit more difficult to get. But I would say that between now and the end of the year, if financially you can make sense of buying, you've spoken to a lender and you're pre-approved and you understand your numbers, I see some great opportunity out there right now. If you guys need any of those tactics, of course, Thomas can help you. And if you need to get financing in place, I can help you with that. But I just wanted to give you this great news that we've seen interest rates come down substantially. I do expect that to continue, not in a dramatic way, but hey, we're in the mid 6s right now, and we haven't seen this for several months. And this is great news for potential buyers. I will update you guys next month as things progress. Have a good day.
Thanks so much for all that information, Benny. We appreciate you clearing that up, and hopefully that provided the viewers some great insights. Now, if you're curious about what it would take to qualify for a loan, and maybe you're curious even what you would qualify for in purchasing a home, go ahead and send me a message and I will get you in direct contact with Benny. We truly hope that you found this information helpful, and if it was helpful for you, please be sure to hit that like button down below and consider subscribing to the Thomas Ryan Real Estate channel, or follow me on Instagram at Thomas Ryan Real Estate. Both are completely free to do, and they're very helpful to enable us to get the information out to you and others. Again, should you have any additional questions about your specific situation, always feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached at 909-334-2049, or if you're comfortable with it, go ahead and leave your question down below. We can answer it there, and while we're answering your question, maybe we'll answer someone else's question as well. All right, until next month, have a good day. Bye.